has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's pain-free Friday. Ferrall stolen out minutes on the mahogany, waxing it up. 100, 200, the bad seat, the burgundy, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion jacket, along with the Tutty and Tater King, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, and the Put It With the Golf guru himself, Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia is running it along with Luke, I Am Your Father. The rundown of double shot this very hour with Morency from British Columbia. And then in the coup de grace hour, the final hour of love for the week, we got our friend Scott Miller, the legendary columnist, baseball writer, and New York Times contributor from San Diego, talking baseball and everything that's going on in the majors and around the weekend in terms of matchups, games, and everything else that's going on now that the season has started. Well, we got all 4 winners right last night, Mike, in the Sweet 16 games. And finally, after the early games were done, which were both awful, they had 2 good games. The Duke game was actually good, and the best game of the tournament, the first overtime game, was the Texas Tech Arkansas meltdown that the Red Raiders stole from the Hogs by a bucket in the extra session. Williams, the hero, not only at the end of regulation, but the winning shot with a little popper on the baseline. That's my favorite shot. The baseline popper to win it for Texas Tech, and they move into Saturday's regional final.
Yeah, and happy Friday here. It was nice to finally have a really great game in the tournament, and that's what that was. I mean, Arkansas yakking up a 16-point lead, and Texas Tech storming all the way back. I wish, if I can ask for one thing tonight, can we make the good games the early ones tonight and let the late ones be the blowout so that, that's just me complaining. I like to hit the pillow before 1 a.m. Like I did last night because I stayed up for the whole thing all the way there. So make the good ones early and make the blowouts late this evening if we could somehow finagle that. But a great game, huge effort by Texas Tech. They finally started making shots down the stretch. And they got a shot now. They'll play Florida, who, of course, we were on that yesterday. Smash City, really. I mean, that was close for about, what do you want to say, 25 minutes? Maybe a little bit into the second half, and then Florida.
I thought it was ugly, Mike. That was a terrible basketball game with 17 Florida turnovers in the first half. I mean, that game was a disaster. And I just thought they both looked so awful. I thought the other game was exciting, watching a team hit 25 threes. But listen, a couple things. One, Alabama's not making 25 threes against Duke. Well, they'll be lucky they shoot 25 threes.
No.
Okay, second of all, the Texas Tech game, let's just get down to business here of what mattered. It reminded me so much of '87 in the Syracuse-Indiana National Championship game. They were down 13 with 3 minutes to go. And Indiana came back and beat Syracuse on Keith Smart's, what was it? A baseline jumper. The Texas Tech game was down 13 with 3 minutes to go. They had a 10-0 run, got it to 3 with 2:09 left. I mean, I remember this like it was happening 5 seconds ago. And then you get the baseline winner from Williams, and I thought a terrible shot at the end from Arkansas where, frankly, Wagner had a guy that was 4 for 4, 3, waving at him like, give me the ball, bro. And your boy went Hog City, all right, Arkansas Hog, Bull Hog. He didn't pass the ball. He wanted that hero ball, that hero sandwich, and he chucked up a brick and that was the end of the game. Now the other guy was on fire. So listen, there were a couple of things in like the other games where you look at teams like in this game with other shooters scoring when you have three guys that can put the ball in the hole. Like I thought, what was it? The kid for Alabama, they were worried about Sears having all those threes, but his other two guard mates were hitting shots as well. What's the kid's name? Holloway? I thought he was terrific. He hit everything. What do you have, 23? So, sometimes you have to feed the ball to the guy that's knocking down shots instead of trying to be the hero yourself.
That is how it goes sometimes. You've got to spread it out a little bit. You can't do it all yourself at the end. And I saw Cal after the game say, Cal never calls a timeout in that spot. He wants his guys to put the pressure on and go down. But, yeah, there was other guys who you probably had a better shot with than Wagner just trying to be a hero.
He's now lost, 3 straight overtime games in the NCAAs. He's 1-3 in overtime games, 3 straight losses. And remember this, I think he was 35-0 with a lead of 6 or more in an NCAA tournament game.
Yes.
That's out the door, too.
That's it. That is correct. So we will talk about those teams from last night who are going to play tomorrow, Duke, Alabama, and then Florida against Texas Tech. But first, we got 4 more tonight that we got to get through. Of course, those games in Atlanta, which you will have Ole Miss and Michigan State, followed by Auburn and Michigan. And then you've got at Lucas Oil, Tennessee and Kentucky, and then Houston and Purdue in the nightcap. So they'll have
it's a great venue for football and basketball. It's a great basketball town. It's a great town for sports. That's why they have all that stuff there. Combines, NCAA championships, NFL and everything, NBA. Because Indy, I've said this to you a million times. You fly in, you're in the city in 10 minutes. You're out in 10 minutes, and then when you're leaving, you hit the Pacer bar at the airport and have waffles and Bloody Marys. They have it all figured out in Indianapolis. I'll give them that. Great credit goes to Naptown, the home of the 500. We got a new track record.
We do have all of that. So tons of college rack today that we are going to talk about. And we have a lot of other stuff to do, too. The Grizzlies whacked Jenkins this afternoon. So Memphis chopping Taylor Jenkins
before the playoffs.
Yeah, that's like an old Lou Lamoriello move in hockey, right? Remember he used to do that with the Devils all the time? He'd chop the coach coming down the stretch, and then he'd end up winning the cup. I don't think it'll go that way for the Grizzlies, but interesting move to chop Jenkins here with only 9 games left to go. We'll talk about that. Probably the best finish in the NBA this season was the Bull-Laker game last night.
Giddy.
Wild final 12 seconds of that game.
Outright.
We will talk about it. What a win for the Bulls, who are just red hot. We have more baseball today. The only 2 that didn't get going yesterday, they're going to get going at the top of the hour, and that's in Tampa at the Yankees' house. I'll wait and give you the numbers after you talk to Gabe, but we will have the Rays and the Rockies at 4 o'clock East from Steinbrenner Field, and all the other baseball tonight.
Is that on TV? Well. The Rays game? Is it on TV? I don't think
it's not a national TV game. No, I will have it on with the hopefully the MLB TV is working today, and I'll have it on. But yes, we will have all that.
Steinbrenner Ray Field.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No advantages is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rates weeknights at 10 on all of our TV and radio outlets. You get Morency with a double shot from Vancouver every day on Coast to Coast. Thank God for that. Hey, great call on the over in the Duke game. Way over 154.5. It went to 193. It was a really good game, and I thought Cooper Flagg's best game ever, in a big-time game with a 30-burger, and he did a lot more than that. Block shots, rebounds, dimes. The half, time shot from, 28 feet out, I thought was clutch. Gave him a 6-point lead. And then I want to get your thoughts on Holloway and Youngblood, the two guards. One of them was in the starting lineup, and he had 19. He hit 5 threes. And then the kid, Holloway, comes off the bench and hits 6 threes and has 23 for Alabama in that 25 threes made game in their blowout win. Start with your great over prediction yesterday.
Well, you know what? Thanks, Scott. I thought that number was just too light between Arizona and Duke in the mid-150s. It just screamed off the page at us. But as far as Cooper Flagg is concerned, Scott, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but, we've been around and we've grown up always just basically hating Duke. And hating
you have no idea.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
have no idea. My dad went there. It never ended. Dinner. That's all I heard about.
Duke,
my whole life.
Duke.
Mike Kaminsky.
Anytime someone talks about Duke, I just tell them, yeah, Richard Nixon went to Duke, all right? That's all you need to know about that university.
You know what my dad said to me? Listen to this. He said to me one night, he went, what kind of an education are you going to get at Indiana University?
Really? Tell me,
I said, I'm
go
going to be
John.
around Bob Knight. He goes, there's something wrong with you. Where's your mother?
I can't imagine you at Duke, Scott.
That's the worst.
Really?
I would have never gone to Duke with all those fans.
But
nerds.
And especially the white guys. You know what I mean? Like, I used to legit hate Christian Laettner. I was like, God, I hate this guy. Like, even the Hurleys. And like,
Danny Fair.
Oh, Danny. We go on and on and on, right? Cooper Flagg, he's impossible not to love. Like, how can you not like this guy? Like, dude. This guy's the real deal. Like I'm thinking of like 7 years from now, Scott, Cooper Flagg versus Wembanyama in the NBA Finals, bro. Like, imagine if they ended up on the same team somehow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a possibility. It's a long shot, but it's a possibility. But as far as Cooper Flagg is concerned, Scott, dude, the guy does it all. He could
and he
drop
does it all
30.
magnificently. Like hits all his free throws. Had
Yeah.
one turnover. He gets all the boards, all the dimes,
Scott,
all the block shots.
And he's unselfish. Like, he could drop 50. He's got other good guys on the team still dropping 17. Like, everybody else still gets theirs, but then he sort of quietly goes off, and you don't really realize. You look up, you're like, oh, he's at 27 now. Oh, he's at 29 now. Like, it's one of these type of deals. But he plays defense. He passes. He rebounds. Dude, like, there's nothing not to love about this kid. He's awesome. You know, just an awesome basketball player. The only thing with Duke, Scott, we saw it last night. They don't get tested a lot at the ACC, right? They won every game by 22 points, right? They averaged, what was their margin of victory? It was like 22 or something insane.
Right.
They literally broke Duke records, guys, with most wins by 35 or more, most wins by 30 or more, most wins by 25 or more. They've been killing teams all year. All right, I'm not saying, they played some tough non-conference games in the season a couple of times, but for the most part, they've been tattooing ACC teams.
That's right.
So we saw them against Arizona that had some talent. Let's give props to Arizona, too. They're right there. Tommy Lloyd's program is right there, man. They just got to, they just got to find a way to take that next step. I guess play a little bit defense would be the next
Well, now
way,
they got three of the best top 5 five-star talent, and Bryce James. They got this kid, Poe. They mean business. They
Tommy
have
Lloyd's
three
doing
of them
a great
coming
job
in there to Tucson. They're going to be locked and loaded. Here's the deal. I got to ask you because, look, I've played a lot of basketball, and, I played this team 3 times this season. We had to beat them a third time in the chip, and we did. No one thinks, it's the same thing as Arizona playing Duke. The second time they played them, even though it was different lineups, I thought they played them better this game, and I think Tennessee will probably play better against Kentucky a third time, but I still think Kentucky could beat them or cover at the very least. What do you think of all these Arizonas facing Duke twice, the Kentucky, Tennessee facing them for a third time? I think it has an impact on the way they play. They know each other very well.
Generally, guys, it's hard to beat a team twice and it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Most of the time, the team actually wins. Like, if they're better than the other team, they will win again. Kentucky have owned Tennessee. It's 6 of 7. So it's twice this year, but 6 of 7. Tennessee have had a problem with Kentucky. But, guys, Kentucky shot 24 of 48 in the combined 2 games from 3 against them. All right, that's 50%. So they shot 50% in the 2 games against Tennessee. Are they going to do this? This game is in the stadium tonight, too, Scott. We're already going into the stadiums tonight with them. So that'll be interesting. We'll see if Kentucky, can shoot. Although I think these kids adapt to stadiums a lot better than they used to in our day. Used to be like, oh, they're playing in a stadium. It was Brick City. Now it's like, whatever, dude. You can put these kids on a warship in the middle of the ocean and they're hitting shots.
And they have done that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, bet the under. These guys swish. I'm
well,
like,
listen, have you ever seen anything like Duke last night? So you're just not losing a game. Now, the cover, leave that off the discussion. But when you shoot 60% from the floor, 58% from 3, and 85% from the line, you will never lose a game ever in the NBA or
Duke made 19 of 22 field goals at one point. That's 22 times down the floor. They scored 19 of them. You want to talk about efficiency?
And they get great looks.
Seriously. And now, listen, now they get Bama, Scott. And in my bracket, I have this. I have Bama beating Duke in my bracket.
Whoa.
I regret it. I think Duke is going to win. So that was before the tournament. I was trying to get cute. Everyone's going to be on Duke. And I was like, who could beat Duke? I was like, Alabama in their side of the bracket is the one team I think can beat Duke because they can do what we saw last night. Right? They're the Boston Celtics. They're gonna bomb 55 threes on you.
Yeah, they're not hitting 25 threes against Duke.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll hit this on the other side, Scott. But remember Loyola Marymount against Michigan? I've been talking about this game a lot lately because Alabama reminds me of them. They broke the record last night that Loyola Marymount held. Loyola Marymount scored like 60 points in their next game after, bro. They went ice cold, right?
Yeah, Alabama's not doing that to Duke.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Morenzi and I could talk sports until we were in the casket. And we're
our love for Cooper Flag. Hard not to get excited about this kid. You can put him in any position on the floor, even. Like,
I know.
It's one of those.
It's too bad his father was a Celtic fan. It's just a horrible thing for me to find out
from
at
Maine,
this point.
of all places. You should be a Maine Black Bear.
I know. I said, like, the only thing that matters there is the Black Bear hockey. Did they win their first game in the NCAA hockey the other day? I think they played yesterday. You got to look that up.
Dude, there was some wild stuff last night in that. There was some wild stuff in that hockey.
Minnesota lost.
The Gophers are out. When UMass came back and
UMass
knocked out, they scored, dude. There were like 30 seconds left. I bet on everything. I haven't dipped my toes. I bet a couple of games. I'm sort of waiting for it to start. They're playing to get into the tournament now, right? So I'm sort of dude, we got the UFL tonight on Fox.
Do you bet on pickleball, Morenzi? Do you bet on the Pro Pickleball League?
No. I can swear on a stack of Bibles. I've never bet on pickleball.
You got to start betting on Andre Agassi. Anyway, let's talk about tonight. And your Wolverines are obviously the late 9:39 game with the other late 10:09 game with Purdue and Houston. But, in Atlanta, Michigan, and Auburn, and the numbers creeped up to 9. That's unbelievable to me against a team, Michigan, that never loses. It's just they never lose.
Michigan are a great tournament team, right? They're okay in the regular seasons over the years, but just think back, guys. Think about the time their plane crashed going to the Big Ten tournament. It skidded off the runway. They actually, guys got hurt, and they took a team vote after, should we get back on the plane and go to Washington for the Big Ten tournament? And they said, hell no, we're not. They voted no. The team voted no. The players said, no. We're done. Like, we're pulling from the tournament. I'm rattled. We just crashed our plane. And the team captain stepped up and said, listen, we got to go. And, we got to do this. You can't. Life is tough. A Beeline game, a life is tough thing. They went and won the damn thing. They remember they fired Bill Frieder left. Bill Frieder left. Steve Fisher won the championship. Dustin May comes in. They win the Big Ten. Like, Dustin May takes FAU to the Final Four. They're a good tournament team, good tournament coach, knows how to adapt, knows how to game plan. Now he's had all week for this. Listen, Auburn get into foul trouble. I think that's a big key tonight, guys. Auburn get into foul trouble, and we've talked about it, Scott. Auburn's like frontline guy. They look like the Auburn Tiger defensive line. Like, you could put these guys on a football field, and, like, they're in better shape than a
You
football
think Michigan's going to beat them?
I think I'm going to take the money line, yeah. Because, listen, we can talk about the 9, Scott.
That's what I'm talking about. Go for it.
Yeah, well, we can talk about the 9 all we want, Scott. You and I know. It'll be close. Every Michigan game is close.
It's automatic.
Right? So I'm expecting it to be 77-77 with 2 minutes left, and Michigan will have it right where they want them. Right? It'll be like, all right, guys, we've won 15 games by 4 points or less. Let's go. This is what we do in close games. Dude, Gale has really come on, right? He's come out of nowhere. He dropped 26 the other night. Donaldson isn't turning the ball over, all right? So suddenly, Donaldson's balling. Michigan, it's all coming together for them right now. Love the 9 points. They have a shot of winning the game, and I like the game to go over the number. Give me Ole Miss plus the 3.5. Beard coached against Izzo in the tournament in like 2020 and 2019. Held him to 51 points. All right, Beard knows Michigan State. It's going to be a slugfest battle, and Beard's got the athletes to compete with Sparty. The spread's only 3.5 for a reason. It's kind of low. Tennessee finds a way, Scott. Let's do this for RB Rick Barnes, all right? Everybody always dumps on this guy. Rick Barnes gets a big win tonight. They cover the number barely. They win by like 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
and I think the Houston Cougars roll Purdue.
You're trying to be nice to Rick Barnes is just not part of the equation today. What do you like in the last? I don't have any feelings about him whatsoever. He's got crow's feet. What's the who doesn't? What's the last game you're doing with Purdue Houston? What are you doing there? Houston
Cougs roll. I think that Purdue are a 2-man operation. I think Houston are going to be too much for them.
You like with Smith and Wren, and you don't think your boy Lawyer can get involved and
No,
and
you
score?
got the Smith and the Kaufman-Wren dude. They run the pick and roll all the time. The Houston Cougars are like the best pick and roll defense in college basketball. You're not.
What'd you say to me earlier that the UFL's back tonight? I haven't watched the UFL.
Yeah. UFL on Fox tonight. You got basketball. Fox got football. Friday Night Football's back.
I'm not watching that.
Scott, give me the Houston Roughnecks plus 6 tonight. It's a bull pick.
What is happening here? But he won't bet on pickleball. He won't bet
screw
on
pickleball. I don't like pickleball.
Everyone's doing it.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket. Until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
be honest, Mike. I'm interested to see how this goes, not just today in Steinbrenner Field, but how it goes for these, 47 of their first 52 games are at home or something like this. That's outrageous.
It is outrageous. They're going to be playing a lot the first couple of months down at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, and then they will be on the road really for all of June, July, and August. And then they play the whole month of September pretty much there in Tampa for the final month. So it's going to be a very weird year for the Tampa Bay Rays, and they will start that in about 30 minutes from now. First pitch down there, it will be Kyle Freeland for the Rockies, Ryan Pipio for the Rays, minus 220. I know the Rockies stink, but look out. Plus 175 for Colorado, 8.5 is the total.
Yeah, I'm just not buying that. This is the first day. I'll take the 180 with Freeland and the Rockies. What do I have to lose? I could care less. And I'm not sitting here scared of the Rays either. So, and Pepio, are you kidding me? At Steinbrenner Field let's face it, it's a spring training ballpark, and that's where they're playing. Who's to say, yesterday, no one saw the White Sox winning. They're not going to win 54 games and all this other, nonsense. We saw all kinds of craziness yesterday in baseball. You think you got it all figured out until you're losing money.
The one thing about Steinbrenner Field is, because I did some research this morning, obviously, when I do with home runs, and I'm looking at different, we got a new ballpark here, so I got to see what's going on. It is the same exact dimensions as Yankee Stadium. They made it that way. So you're thinking the same thing. Short down the right field line. 314 down the right field line. So the lefties are going to be able to possibly pop out there at Steinbrenner Field. That's probably where you're going to be looking for the home runs with those guys. They do have a little bit of a stiff wind blowing in from right field today. Might make it a little trickier, but overall, I think you'll see some taters there, especially just like at Yankee Stadium down that right field porch, because that's where they're going to be looking.
But I'm a little, you just said stiff wind, and that just turns me off about all these home runs. It's going to knock the ball down if they got a stiff wind. A stiff wind to me is like playing at PGA National that Saturday, and it was 30 miles an hour. That's a stiff wind.
Yeah, look, it's 15 to 20 blowing in from right field. So I don't know if that's really where you want to be today in terms of homers. I really like the price at one shop on Ryan McMahon for the Rockies, who's a lefty. He was like plus 800 somewhere. So I'm going to take a little stab with him. But for the most part, I don't love it with the home runs today because of that wind blowing in from right field. So we have that starting at the top of the hour as far as baseball. And let me just update you on the golf before I get into all the hoops. Of course, round 2 down in Houston.
Look who the leader is. What could be worse?
That's why I wanted to update you. There he is. Scotty Scheffler shot an 8 under today, tied the course record, and he is at 11 under for the tournament in the lead. He's one shot ahead of Taylor Pendrith, who's in the clubhouse with a 10 under. The immortal Jackson Suber, who thankfully double bogeyed yesterday on 18, which allowed us to get a two-way chop of the first-round leader that we gave out on Coast to Coast on Wednesday. We had, of course, Toasty, Alejandro Toasty, and Killer Keith Mitchell. So we had 2 of the 5 guys that tied for first-round leader. Obviously, with dead heats, that gets chopped up pretty good, but it's something back in the pocket, so we did do all right with the first-round leaders.
So what happened to Toasty today?
Toasty just came out in the afternoon group. He's even through 2, so he's still minus 5. So you got to remember, those guys who were first-round leader at 5 under, that's already 6 shots off the pace with where Scheffler shot today. So they got some work to do to go after him. Gary Woodland playing well, too. He shot 6 under. He's 7 under for the day. So a few guys are in the mix there. Down in Houston, and some pretty nasty weather here in the afternoon.
Look at your boy Finau.
Yeah, he's playing well. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't finish today. Now, I thought that yesterday, and they did, but they got heavy thunderstorms in the Houston area. They might have to finish the second round tomorrow morning. We will see how it goes through the rest of the afternoon.
Jaeger Bombs is in it.
Jagerbomb's the defending champion. He won Houston last year, Jagerbombs. So he's trying to go for the back-to-back. But it's always hard
Who's
when you're looking up.
K.U. son of a B? K.U. son of a B.
Kevin Yu. And, of course, this Eric Cole, who me and Cam were on for like 8 weeks in a row, decided to play well this week. I guess Eric Cole finally wants to try to get involved in the golf tournament. Either way, that's what's going on in Houston. But if Scheffler's got a lead going in tomorrow, he probably won't lose. That's usually how it goes. He hasn't won yet this year in 2025, so he probably wants to check that box before he gets to Augusta in a couple of weeks. All right, so we got the golf. We'll keep an eye on it. How about all this rack? College rack, Sweet 16 from last night. Let's start to go through it and then get into tonight's games. We mentioned it. Texas Tech, the best game of the tournament so far. They erase a 16-point deficit, the second largest comeback in Sweet 16 history, 85-83 in overtime. Here is the finish for you, Scotty. Of course, this is Texas Tech taking the lead and then Arkansas not getting it done on the other end. Westwood One Sports.
Hawkins into the front court. Texas Tech does have a timeout. About a 4.5-second difference, game and shot clock. 15 to shoot. Hawkins with a dribble out near midcourt against Wagner. Shot clock down to 10. Hawkins will give it to Williams. Dribbles over on the right side. Williams trying to back it against Knox. Into the paint. Turns baseline. Pump fake. Puts it up off the glass and in! 7.3 to go. Texas Tech up 2. Here comes Wagner up the right side. 3 seconds left. Wagner driving right. Behind his back. Launches a 20-footer for the tie. No! It's over! Texas Tech has won! Texas Tech is going to the Elite Eight!
Wow. I got to be honest with you, and I think Wagner's a good player. I just think he had guys with better looks wide open, and I think he was in a time warp. He just saw, red, and he just was like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to do this myself. Sometimes you got to give a guy a better look than the one you're trying to create. I thought he just hogged it up. I thought he ran down the court like, this is my game, get out of my way. And he had guys open that were really shooting well, too. So I think Arkansas beat themselves. Like, it's unbelievable. You're up 16 and you melt it down like a softy ice cream cone in the Manhattan heat. I mean, to tell you, it was meltdown city.
Yeah, he tried to be a hero. And it just did not go well for him there at the end. And really, you look at it,
hero.
Arkansas, they got destroyed giving up offensive boards to Texas Tech. I mean, destroyed on the glass. Same thing St. John's did to Arkansas. The difference was Texas Tech made shots down the stretch.
Yeah.
And that was the difference. St. John's killed them on the glass too, Arkansas, but they couldn't make any shots. So it didn't matter. Texas Tech made the shots down the stretch.
You know what? He missed, 15 of his first 17 shots, this kid Williams? Yeah. Is that about right? Yeah. He was chucking from everywhere, and he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. If they shoot like that against Florida, they're going to get wiped out.
I agree. I think that they need to
You
play.
get down 16 to them. You see what happens? Maryland got down 16. That's what they lost by.
If I was Grant McCaslin, and we'll hear from him after the break as we're going to break. If I was Texas Tech and Grant McCaslin, I would take a good look at that UConn game from last week, and I would go in looking to play physical and muck the game up and slow the game down. That's what I would be looking to do.
Guns N' Roses, what was it? Thank your lucky stars, I'm home. I think Grant McCaslin should thank his lucky stars that he's playing on Saturday.
Yes, he should. We'll hear from him when we come back.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then, just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, let's hear from the Texas Tech head coach, Mike.
Yeah, he was, of course, as you would be after a big comeback like that. So proud.
And I'll tell you what it boils down to. These guys just want to win, man. And if we tell them that we're not making and we got to go get offensive rebounds and we got to do it, I thought Kevin Overton's offensive rebound was huge. That was maybe the one that got pitched out, that got Christian going. But, man, it's just the way – I'll tell you what it is. It's the belief that we got to find a way, and that's the biggest part of this team. They'll do whatever it takes. Shoot a bunch of threes, go into the post, offensive rebound, whatever it takes, this team does it.
So let's just be clear. First of all, this guy was allegedly in the running for the Indiana job and all these other jobs, Texas, everything else. But, you know, I got to tell you, the strange thing about it was, I'll never forget Bob Knight telling me how much he loved Lubbock. And I know why he loved Lubbock, because he was a hunter and a fisherman. The guy was obsessed with hunting and fishing, like that, and golf. Back in the day when he was a little younger, he played a lot of golf, and he could really hit a golf ball 300 yards. I mean, like nothing you've ever seen. This guy, Bob Knight, wailing on a golf ball. But he loved Lubbock. And Lubbock, let me just tell you, is in the middle of effing nowhere. I mean, there is absolutely, like, your dog will run away for 3 days, like in Edmonton. Like the dog, you know, there's nothing to do there, nothing. But for some reason, people like it there. And I'm not even being mean. Knight loved it. I think McCaslin likes it there. I think he's staying there. And I think he's got a great basketball program going on in Lubbock at Texas Tech. And think about it. Ever since Bob Knight went down there, they've been winning. They got a good basketball program. Their basketball program is better than their football program. And that's just all there is to it. I think that guy, it would behoove him to stay there and just keep doing his thing, because there really are no other good jobs left. You and I just heard this nonsense. I don't buy it about Buzz Williams that he's going to go to Maryland. You said it best, right? He's from Texas. And the deep pockets in the SEC and in Texas with A&M, they'll spend more money than God. You already know Maryland's cheap. Kevin Willard's leaving because of it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. And one thing about Bobby Knight with Lubbock, you know, Calipari the day before yesterday, this was on Wednesday when he did the pregame press conference. He did talk about going to see Knight in Lubbock and spending some time with him down there, and how Bobby Knight would just tell him how much he loves it. He took him to some restaurant there. And this is my favorite place to eat. Like Calipari had like a 10-minute story about visiting Bob Knight down in Lubbock when he was the Texas Tech head coach. And it was just the greatest place in the world.
Listen, let me just tell you, I know people and he loved baseball. And I mean, he really loved baseball. And DiMaggio and all of it. No one knew more baseball than Bob Knight. And imagine sitting on a boat with him. He used to go out on those little skiffs and go fishing. Like you see the guy with his son on the lake with the little skiff. And he's sitting on the one end and the kids on the other. And he'd sit out there all day, literally all day long, fishing. And he would tell more stories than God. Like this guy could tell you basketball stories that would make your mind melt. Like the guy told stories better than anyone. And I'm telling you, I know I have a fascination with him. I've never seen anyone as a public speaker better than him. He would go into a room full of people and just take over and tell stories. And Calipari just confirmed it. He talks about going to see him. There was no one like him, even though he was a massive D.
Texas Tech will now play the Florida Gators in San Francisco tomorrow for a right to go to the Final Four. They beat Maryland 87-71.
And played like
You're right.
crap.
They did, and that's why the game was close. Florida didn't play well. They turned the ball over, and that's why the game was tight at halftime.
Right.
But in the second half, Florida started to get it going on Westwood One Sports.
Inside 4.5 to go for the Florida Gators, the top seed looking to move on to the Elite Eight. Aberdeen with it high left up top. It goes to Houck between the circles. Dribbles over on the right side. He'll hand it off. Richard takes a deep three and knocked it in. Will Richard with 15. 80-64 Florida. 4:12 to go. That one came from way downtown.
Listen, I don't deny that Maryland has some players, but Florida's just so much better. And if they actually didn't turn the ball over 17 times in the first half, they would have won this game by 40. Like literally, they blew them out in the second half. The first half was a bloodletting. They looked so terrible. I was watching the game. I'm like, what? I don't even recognize this team. They look so awful. How about like some of their turnovers in the half court? Like bringing the ball up to court. They couldn't even, like they were throwing balls away left and right. There were so many turnovers. I was like, they're going to lose. I thought at halftime they were going to lose because they were playing so badly. But in the second half, they got back to being themselves. I don't believe they'll play two bad halves against Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's in trouble against that team. That team, if they play decent, will beat you. If they play good, they will kill you. If they play great, they will annihilate you.
Yeah, Texas Tech is going to have to play a really clean game against Florida tomorrow. Like, they did not yesterday, no. If they play like you said, if they play like last night, they're finished. They have no shot. They have got to get Florida into a sloppy game.
They haven't been in games like this, Mike. They haven't been in Elite Eight finals. They have not been in Final Fours. They have not been in championship games. Florida's won back-to-back titles before. They win basketball titles. So I think it's a mismatch to me. Even though Texas Tech is really good, I think they're going up against a juggernaut.
When we come back, I do want to finish this by playing you Maryland head coach.
And you're wearing their
Kevin
colors.
Willard. I am today. That's not I'm not rooting for the Gators, believe me. My tickets would rather have Texas Tech win tomorrow,
Right.
but I don't feel that great about it. But I would rather have Texas Tech win the game. When we come back, we'll hear from Kevin Willard. I know I said to you yesterday I wasn't sure about him, if he was going to stay or not. After I play you this clip, I don't think he's staying in Maryland. We'll play that when we come back. I think he's out the door. He's going to Villanova. That's what I think.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. You studied the stats. You had the perfect bracket until your upsets turned into regrets. SportsGrid rides the highs and lows of every buzzer beater, bracket buster, and Cinderella story.
The Big Ten Freshman of the Year!
Our team brings you sharp insights, real-time reactions, and all the madness. Only on SportsGrid.
It's you guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Mike, let me just say this to you. Willard is no Jay Wright. And my buddy played at Villanova. And I play ball with this guy 4 or 5 days a week. And he said to me today when I was balling that kids don't want to go there anymore. It's a city school. It's intense there. It can be dangerous there. It's not, it's certainly not playing at Fordham in the Bronx. But it's the middle of Philly. And they have one star player, and no one even knows him. And they don't get the recruits that they used to get when Jay Wright was there and win national championships and guys like Brunson, and it goes on and on. Don't get me started. They haven't had players like that since then. And I don't believe that guy can get them there. And neither does this guy. They're like, kids don't want to play in the inner city of Philadelphia. They just don't. They want to go to the Big Ten, to the SEC. They want to go south. I know hundreds of kids from New York City that want to go south so fast, make your head spin, including my daughter. Look at my son. He went to California. So they don't want to play in this inner city in the hood. They don't. And that's just all there is to it. So good luck, Kevin. First of all, you're not that good of a coach to begin with. I want to hear him. We already knew he was leaving.
Well, look, I was a little up in the air with it maybe yesterday or the day before. I'm not up in the air with it anymore after listening to him last night. I think he's definitely leaving, and he has nobody to blame for how out of control this got than himself. He's the one that started all this last week by talking about the school. All right, he's the one who did all that. So whatever happens to him is on his own accord. Here's Kevin Willard.
So I have not even no, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't talked to my agent. I haven't talked to my wife. I made a promise to this team that I was gonna just focus on this team, and that's all I've done. So I haven't talked to anybody. Right now, my biggest concerns in life right now, I don't know who my boss is going to be. It's the guy that brought me here, who I really liked and appreciative of him bringing me to College Park, is not here anymore. And I don't know who we're going to hire. And that's, as in today's day and age, that worries me a little bit, I'm just being honest. My honesty got me in trouble. Might as well keep getting me in trouble. So this is going to be a family decision. I love College Park. I love Maryland, but there's when you're at this point in your career and you're looking at things, I have to take everything into consideration about what's moving forward. but I have not even talked to anybody, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
I don't believe that. I believe he's
I don't
talked to Villanova on the phone for certain, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he had dinner with somebody at a hidden Italian restaurant. All I know is I think be careful what you wish for. Like, be careful what you wish for. He's got a really good thing going. He's complaining about the monies, that they're spending on NIL and worrying about Loxley and football and all the rest. But he is in College Park in the Big Ten, and he's got a winner. He's already got a winner built. And, I mean, kids want to go there. It is a great school. Not only that, it's party school. Kids want to go to Maryland. I know kids that go there, and it is A, fun place, B, expensive. It's no joke. And Villanova's a city school. It's a city school. You have to be tough as leather to go to city schools, inner city schools. Trust me. Listen, you think candy asses are going to Temple and Villanova? And listen, I know the Ivy League kids at Penn, but believe me, you know what they do? They run to the Uber. They don't walk, they run.
So what he was referencing there is that athletic director, Damon Evans, who hired him, he left, I guess it was last week or 2 weeks ago, for the SMU job. So SMU hired Evans away from Maryland. So the AD position is open. So I guess that's also, once his AD left, the guy he loved, that's when he started airing his grievances, when the AD went out the door.
These things happen in life, right? These things happen.
Yes.
Everybody's out for their own good, right? And their own benefit and, improve their own situation. So in sports, like, it's ridiculous. You think, look, 6 years in, this Jenkins guy, they whacked his ass with 9 games left. When you are in college and pro sports, here's how long you last. Typically, no more than 5 years.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern